For a time, the Illyrian fleet found harbor in Arkesh's Red Rim, where Queen Golda showed them extraordinary generosity. Her gaze lingered on Elberyn, drawn to his courage, the nobility of his race, his features and his words, his bearing marked by destiny. Wild love consumed her, granting her body no peace or rest. Torn between desire and the oath sworn to her murdered husband, Golda sought counsel from her sister, Abra. She poured out her heart, the conflict, the shame, the longing. Abra listened, then spoke gently. Elberyn was no ordinary wanderer, but one destined and favored by the gods. A union with him would bring honor, not shame. Their peoples could thrive together, a bond with the Illyrians, securing Arkesh against King Iapos and the surrounding warlords. The stars themselves seemed to align for the match. Golda's resistance faltered, and she embraced the clasp of love. But her obsession consumed her reason, and Golda neglected her civic duties. The towers she had begun ceased to rise, the harbor lay abandoned, and the battlements stood unfinished. Lurgo, the wrathful machine god, watched the blooming union from her cyber sanctum with cold calculation. She has quality a chance to delay, if not derail, Elberyn from the star-charted path towards Obera and the empire to come. With a whisper through weather systems and command over planetary forces, she seeded the clouds and summoned a great storm. That morning, Elberyn and Golda had ventured across the red dunes on dust striders, hunting the elusive white-speckled Eno. But as thunder cracked and the winds howled, they sought shelter in a jagged stone cleft. There in the cave, with the storm raging outside, their flesh met in a surge of lust and heat, with all restraint melted away. To him, it may have been passion born of moment and circumstance, but to Golda it was consecration. She gave herself wholly, mind, body, soul. She believed it was marriage, final and true. That day marked the beginning of her death and the root of all her suffering. Rumors spread like wildfire across Africa's dust belts. Whispers of the union between Arkesh's queen and the foreign commander turned to outrage, none more inflamed than Iapos, a warlord king and spurned suitor of Golda. Consumed by jealousy and humiliation, he appealed to Salistar, accusing Elberyn of lawlessness, idleness, and disrespect. To stir Elberyn back to his mission, the god intellect sent winged Ridley, who found him draped in Arkechian silks, overseeing the welders and engineers of Golda's rising towers.
Why waste idle hours in endeavors? You forget your son, your kingdom, your destiny.
Elberyn stood struck dumb with shame, the rebuke's truth piercing him. The dream had to end. Silently, without ceremony, he began preparing the ships, saying nothing to Golda for fear she would try to stop him. Word spread, and when Golda learned of Elberyn's secret plan to leave, rage and frenzy consumed her.
Did you think you could hide this, traitor, to slip away without a farewell? Have you no honor, no respect for the oath we forged in flesh and fire?
It is not my will that drives me to Arbera. The gods have bound me to this path. My heart is torn, but my duty is clear. To carry my people, my blood, and the promise of Iscalis to that distant world.
Have mercy, I beg you. If I ever deserved anything from you, do not cast me aside. Your love has cost me everything. The respect of foreign kings, of my own people, you are all I have. If only you'd left a child in my arms. Our child, a little Elberyn, playing in our halls, his features bringing you back to me. I would not feel so utterly alone.
I'm sorry, Golda, but this must be.
Then go! May the stars turn against you, Elberen.
Golda turned from him without another word, slashing tears from her face. Elberen watched her go, torn by guilt and duty, but he did not follow. Instead, he returned to the fleet and signaled for departure. The battered ships that limped into Arkich had over weeks been restored by her skilled people. Under cover of darkness, the fleet departed. Elberen, grim-faced, gave the order, unwilling to meet Golda's eyes again. The engines cast a dim glow across the harbor as townsfolk waved them off. In her chamber high in the tower, Golda had not slept. Cloaked in the robe Elberen had left behind, watching from the window. Her face ashen, she ascended to the rooftop where she had built a pyre from the debris of their time together. Fragments of their shared quarters, his ceremonial gifts, his unused weapons. At its center stood the old marriage bed, draped in silk, now soaked with fuel. A spear of light pierced the night's murk, his command ship disappearing. Alone in the night, Golda mounted the pyre. She lit its base and flames surged. For a moment, she stood against the heat, eyes fixed skyward as his ship shrank to a mere point among the stars. Then, without hesitation, she drew his abandoned blade and drove it into her chest. Her final breath was a curse. No peace would ever bind her people to his. His descendants would one day burn for this betrayal. By the time Abra, drawn by smoke and alarms, reached the rooftop, the fire had consumed the pyre. She arrived only to see her sister collapse, eyes still fixed on the stars.